In the weeks before the Munich Agreement, all of Europe was sitting around worrying about what was going to come forth from the Nuremberg Party rally, where Hitler and Göring and a whole series of people were making speeches. They were wondering whether or not war might be declared. During that time, Göring made a speech about Czechoslovakia, a horrible speech. And interestingly enough, weeks later, when Chamberlain spoke about the importance of not going to war, it seemed as if he had absorbed part of the very kind of attitude that Göring expressed. In Göring's speech, he set the tone of the party Congress with his incredibly bellicose statement on Czechoslovakia. He said, "A petty segment of Europe is harassing the human race," referring to the Czechs. "This miserable pygmy race without culture, no one knows where it came from, is oppressing a cultured people, and behind it is Moscow and the eternal mask of the Jew devil." When Chamberlain spoke to the British people on the night of September 26th, after it looked like the negotiations with Hitler were going to fail and war was going to come about, he used the same kind of language as Göring had used.
How horrible, fantastic, incredible it is that we should be digging trenches and trying on gas masks here because of a quarrel in a faraway country between people of whom we know nothing.
As if we knew nothing about this country of Czechoslovakia. It was a country, the only democracy in Central Europe. Clearly, Chamberlain knew what it meant, what it stood for in the principles of the British Empire, as it should have for the United States.
However much we may sympathize with a small nation confronted by a big and powerful neighbor, we cannot, in all circumstances, undertake to involve the whole British Empire in war simply on her account. But if I were convinced that any nation had made up its mind to dominate the world by fear of its force, I should feel that it must be resisted. For the present, I ask you to wait as calmly as you can for the events of the next few days. As long as war has not begun, there is always hope that it may be prevented. And you know that I am going to work for peace till the last moment.
I have been hitting the German Chancellor, Herr Hertler, and I've had his piece in my hand. No, sorry, I'm getting confused.
Cut it.
Sorry,
it's all right, no, don't get flustered. That was lovely. Just show the script. Somebody, you've got the script, there we are. Just familiarise yourself with the words. And as soon as you're ready, let's go again. Action!
When I was a little boy, I used to repeat, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That's what I'm doing. When I come back, I hope I may be able to say, as Hotspur says in Henry IV, out of this little danger, we pluck this flower safety.
There would be no war, not yet. Thanks to the Italian fixer, there would be a final conference at Munich, where the last act was played out.
Ich kann mich noch sehr gut an September 38 erinnern, weil ich da geheiratet habe. Und nachdem immer das Gerücht gegangen ist, es kommt Krieg, war das deprimierend. Und dann hat es geheißen, ja, es kommt der Chamberlain und der Daladier kommen und dann werden wir weiterschauen. Also am 30. September ist also der Tag gewesen und da ist da überall abgesperrt gewesen. Und der Chamberlain und der Daladier sind angefahren am Spätnachmittag. Und ich weiß noch, meine Freundin ist durch den Absperr durchgelaufen. Da ist ein SS-Mann nach und hat gesagt, da darf man nicht durch. Ich habe gesagt, mein Mann ist im Krankenhaus, ich muss durch. Dann hat er gesagt, naja, sonst hätte er es gleich gepackt, aber da war alles ganz deprimiert. Und dann ist also der Chamberlain da rein ins Gebäude und hat ein paar Stunden hat's gedauert und wir haben so Angst gehabt. Und dann hat es geheißen, es kommt kein Krieg. Da waren wir selig dann.
In the Regina Hotel, 2 Czech delegates waited. Barred from the conference by the Godfather and the dealer, they sat virtually under house arrest until the terms of the Munich Agreement were brought to them. Instead of the Godesberg Ultimatum, they faced the Munich Agreement, but the differences were cosmetic. The Godfather got what he wanted, and with the approval of the fixer, the bull with the snail's horns, and the dealer. And the Czechs? They paid the ultimate price. Their country was dismembered and left defenseless in tears and sorrow. And the conference itself was only an ultimate paradox of bitter irony. What Chamberlain refused in Godesberg, he happily signed in Munich. Here, in the Godfather's city, Munich, the scene of Hitler's unsuccessful 1923 beer hall putsch, the real purpose of the dealer's play would be seen. And it would be in the last of the Godfather's residences that a deal would be struck which would preserve peace for Britain and Germany. The war and the suffering somewhere else was not of any concern to the deal maker. Only a few miles from the beer cellars and the carousing, along a road that Chamberlain would not take as he travelled on the morrow of the conference to meet the Führer again for the last time, lay a place the name of which will ever ring with infamy. Dachau.